Hello, I'm your friendly nurse and health coach, and I'm coming today on tobacco and the effects of tobacco. There are 8 million people killed a year in the world of tobacco. 1.5 million of those are non-smokers, which means they are in the environment of smokers that are killed a year in this world. Tobacco has 7,000 chemicals in it. 7,000 toxic chemicals. Wow, that's a lot. Only 69 of those chemicals are not cancer causing out of the 7,000. And you get tobacco effects from chewing tobacco, smoking it, piping it, vaping, which is e-cigarettes. And there are many effects of it. Smoking is the leading cause of premature or preventative death in the United States, which means it could have been prevented. This death could have been prevented if they would avoid tobacco products. Stay in the blood of a person longer with non-smoking than smoking. The nicotine effect of it, which is the addicting effect of it, of the tobacco. And there are many effects of tobacco. And the ones that, chemicals that affect you in tobacco, all the chemicals affect you. And it affects the whole body of tobacco. But the number one chemical that affects you the most is the nicotine. Why? Because it is addicted. Addicted means you can't just put it down so easily. Anybody that's smoking or been chewing tobacco or using tobacco anyway knows how hard it can get the longer you are doing it. And I tried it once when I was in high school. I thought I was going to die. Worse than having a baby to me, because I had just had a baby in high school. Came back to school, around the building of the school, and other ones were smoking, so I tried it too. And I'm like, oh wait, man, I'm dying. I felt like I was dying. I was leaving this world. And then I remember my husband used to smoke when we married, and we got our own house. And I used to have to run to the back door at times to catch my breath and breathe. I'm like, how do anybody do this? And I remember trying to chew tobacco, like some of my family members was trying to chew it. And it was still the same. Looked like I was definitely ill of it. I said, well, this nicotine just does not go with my body. So some of the chemicals besides the nicotine that's very addicting that's in tobacco is lead. And we know that lead is very toxic and very poisonous to the body. A lot of people have got leg poison and died. That's how toxic it is to the body. Lead, strong poison. It's a bunch of metals and strong poisons that are in lead, and lead is in tobacco. Another chemical is arsenic. Arsenic is a crystal-like substance, and it affects the neural part of your brain. can't think clearly, your brain clouded up, you can't focus, anxiety, can't stand to attention of stuff for so long, your short-tended attention span. That's the effect of that terrible, terrible arsenic chemicals, poisonous chemicals in tobacco. Another chemical is ammonia. Have you ever had ammonia before? I use ammonia at times in my clothes. I spray it around my house. Ammonia can be very strong. I used it a lot one time and I could not breathe. I had to run and stay outside for a while, get some fresh air. Ammonia is very, very toxic. Very, very toxic. It leads people into coma, death, and it is in tobacco. And causing seizures. Another chemical that's in tobacco, radioactive elements. Radioactive elements are those elements that is in tobacco, and it's according to how much of that element is in tobacco, which according to what soil they use when they make that tobacco, gonna depend on the concentrated part of the radioactive elements that's in tobacco. This chemical is very toxic and poison for the body. You got also carbon monoxide. We know what carbon monoxide come from a lot from cars, being cars when they are running in one spot, and you put it car in the garage and you don't turn that car off good on that garage, guess what? Carbon monoxide gonna be all on that garage. Now if you don't leave that door open going into that house, the carbon dioxide is gonna go through your house and can cause death to you. If you don't catch it on time, or you're not treated or get to the doctor on time. It actually happened to a couple one time. They had a new car and they thought they turned the car off, and they did not turn the car off. And they went on in their house, the garage door, some kind of way they even left it open, or seeped under the bottom of the door into the house. And one person was closer to the garage, it killed them immediately. And the other person, they lived for a day or two, and they died too. And their dog died. That's how toxic, poison, carbon monoxide is that's in tobacco. It's in chewing tobacco, it's in the cigarette smoking tobacco, it's in the pipe smoking tobacco, and it affects also the non-smokers in their environment, being in the environment of it. Very, very toxic, poison to the body. You got many, many chemicals that are toxic and poison. As I said, 7,000 chemicals in tobacco, and only 69 of them do not cause cancer. That's awful. The high risk people for tobacco harming them are those that got sicknesses already in their bodies, and their immune system are weakened. They are subject to the effects of the tobacco and the chemicals in the tobacco harming their body more. You got those that are continuous smoking and prolonging time at prolonged times and over a period of times, it's affecting their body. They're at high risk of getting death and end. You got those that smoking 5 or more packs a day are at high risk of getting definitely diseases. And tobacco affects every system in your body is affected by tobacco. And it don't take long either. When you ingest that tobacco, smoking or inhaling it, chewing it, it goes directly to your bloodstream. 7 to 10 seconds, it's in your brain, and then it goes all over parts of your body that fast. Smoking also addicted part of the tobacco. It's in a lot of people's genes at times. If their parents or foreparents or somebody in their family has been on heavily tobacco uses in their genes, and sometimes it can be it's not as powerful in their genes, and they don't get cancer. Very sudden it happens. Low income people, middle class people are more prone to die of tobacco, and it's probably because of the environment that they live in, and the secondhand smokers, as we call them, ingesting it and inhaling it in some way or another. Water pipe people, that's piping it. Somebody said, well, I don't pipe it that much. It don't take much. Those chemicals, within seconds, it's in your brain of just one draw. Those living in working areas, and unfortunately everybody have to work. Living in working areas where other people are smoking around them in their environment. And it's affecting the non-smokers as more than the smokers itself. Because the smoke itself sometimes got a little filter on the cigarettes, which really don't filter much of the chemicals at all that what they saying it is on the package. But the ones that don't have any help at all, that's around you, inhaling it, it affects them even more. It stays in their system up to 3 days. And if they go back to work, keep going back to work all that week, 5 days a week or 4 days a week or whatever, they just continuously inhaling it, guess what? It's affecting them also. I know someone not too long ago told me that their husband have been smoking for a while, and now they got lung cancer. And the doctor is relating it to them being around that smoke for years with that person in that house. And smoking will affect children even quicker than adults. Why? Because their immune system is not built up as much as an adult immune system. That's why a lot of them got asthma today. So you have to be careful. Also, we give young children and babies infection in the throat, infection in the ears. A lot of ear infections I've found over the years. The children was affected by their mother, father, somebody riding in the car smoking, in the house smoking around them, and they kept getting reoccurrence ear infections, throat infections, nose infections. Come on now. So it affects the children you be around as much, parents, adults, as it affects you. And you wonder why so many people in your area got asthma, and got lung conditions going on, because they have been ingesting and inhaling those toxic chemicals we call carcinogens that's in the tobacco, carcinogens that's into tobacco, toxic chemicals. So don't, if you don't even think about yourself, think about your children and people that are around you. It affects you by the way of appetite. It suppresses your appetite, the tobacco will. And you say, I don't have an appetite to eat. All you want to do is smoke. So therefore you're going to lose weight. And a lot of people that are chain smokers, we call chain smoker, keep smoking. After they 25 packs a day or more, that they are high risk. And they usually be smaller than people that smokes a lot. Also, you got high anxiety levels. It affects your anxiety level. It affects your focus, because remember, it's going to your brain first. And it affects your brain in within 7 to 10 seconds. Are you inhaling it or ingesting it? Give you a headache. Why is it giving you a headache? Because those toxic wastes are going in there and causing inflammation, pain, swelling, redness, causing fluid buildup, cerebral fluid buildup in the brain, inflammation, causing headaches, pain, blood pressure go up. You got neural problems, you can't think at all clearly. Your brain is clotted. Can't sleep. All these are toxic effects of the tobacco chemicals, toxic chemicals that you are ingesting or inhaling in your body as you use them, or someone around you has been affected by the smoke that you are putting out with the cigarette smoking. Trouble sleeping, can't sleep, restless. Why? Because less oxygen. Your lungs, it affecting your lungs. We are coming back with more of what it affects in your body, the system, how it affects your system, and what it causes in your body, and about these cigarettes. You live a healthy, you live a long life we want you to do. And that's why we come to with these health tips every week to you, that you will know why your body is acting the way it's acting and what you can do about improving your health for a longer, healthier life. We love you.